Imagine a lightweight British sports car, nimble and agile, but powered by the raw, unmistakable force of an American V8 engine. This was the bold vision behind the Allard J2, introduced in 1949. Sydney Allard, a British engineer and racer, set out to create a competition roadster that could compete on the world stage by blending the best of British chassis design with the muscle of American V8 power plants. About 90 of these cars were built through 1951, each embodying a unique hybrid identity. In Britain, the J2 often featured Ford or Mercury flathead V8s, while across the Atlantic, American owners installed Cadillac, Mercury, or Ford V8 engines, tailoring the car to local tastes and resources. This combination wasn't just about power, it was about balance, pairing lightweight British engineering with the torque and reliability of American V8s to create a machine that stood out in the post-war sports car scene. The J2 was primarily aimed at the American market, where its mix of agility and brute force found a receptive audience. Its design and purpose set it apart from other sports cars of the era, making it a fascinating example of cross-continental automotive innovation. To understand how this British V8 racer captured American attention and made its mark in motorsport history, we first look at the man who made it happen and the world that shaped the J2's creation. To understand the Allard J2's creation, we first delve into the man behind it and the historical context that shaped its development. Sydney Allard was more than just a car builder. He was a racer with a clear vision. In the turbulent years following World War II, the automotive world was searching for new ways to combine speed, agility, and power. Allard saw an opportunity to create something different, a British sports car that could harness the raw muscle of American V8 engines. This idea was unconventional at the time, but it was rooted in practical experience and a deep understanding of what it took to win on the track. Allard's background as a driver and engineer gave him unique insight. He knew that lightweight construction was essential for nimble handling, yet the car also had to accommodate big, powerful engines to compete with the best. His solution was the J2, developed between 1948 and 1949, a competition-ready roadster that married a British chassis with the strength of American V8 power plants. British market versions often used Ford or Mercury flathead V8s, but many American customers preferred locally sourced Cadillac, Mercury, or Ford engines, making the J2 a truly adaptable platform. The engineering choices behind the J2 reflected this hybrid philosophy. Sydney Allard designed a chassis that was both robust and light, capable of handling the torque and weight of large V8 engines without sacrificing the car's agility. The front suspension employed a split-axle independent design, which improved road holding and responsiveness, while the rear featured a Dadion setup paired with inboard rear brakes. This combination was advanced for its time, offering better weight distribution and reduced unsprung mass, crucial for maintaining control during high-speed cornering. Allard's hands-on approach meant the J2 was not just a theoretical exercise but a practical racing machine. His personal experience behind the wheel influenced every detail, from the chassis geometry to the placement of heavy components. The goal was clear: create a car that could take on the best in endurance racing and hill climbs, leveraging the best of British engineering and American horsepower. This vision resonated particularly well with the American market, where enthusiasts and racers were eager for a car that combined European finesse with the brute force of V8 engines. The J2's success in this regard helped establish a new kind of Anglo-American collaboration in motorsport, one that would influence sports car development for years to come. Sydney Allard's creation was more than just a car. It was an embodiment of his racing spirit and engineering philosophy. The J2 set the stage for a new era of competition, proving that a lightweight British chassis paired with powerful American engines could deliver performance and versatility. This approach also reflected the post-war appetite for innovation, as drivers and builders experimented with new combinations to gain a competitive edge. The J2's adaptability made it especially appealing to a diverse range of enthusiasts. Next, we explore the technical details of the J2, examining the engineering choices that made it a competitive and adaptable racer. What made the Allard J2 stand out wasn't just the raw power under its hood, but the thoughtful engineering that allowed it to blend British agility with American muscle so effectively. At its core, the J2 was built around a lightweight yet robust chassis designed specifically for competition. This wasn't a heavy, cumbersome frame. Instead, it provided a nimble platform that could handle the stresses of racing while remaining responsive on the road. The front suspension of the J2 utilized a split-axle independent setup. This was a forward-thinking choice at the time, as it gave the car improved handling and a smoother ride, allowing each front wheel to react independently to road conditions. It was a significant advantage over more traditional solid front axles, especially in the varied terrain of road racing. Moving to the rear, the J2 employed a Dion suspension arrangement. Unlike conventional live axles, the Dion setup helped maintain better wheel alignment during acceleration and cornering, which translated to more predictable handling and greater traction. Complementing this was the use of inboard rear brakes. By positioning the brakes closer to the center of the car rather than directly at the wheels, Allard reduced unsprung weight. This meant the suspension could respond more quickly and precisely, enhancing the car's overall agility and responsiveness. One of the defining features of the J2 was its remarkable adaptability when it came to powertrains. Sydney Allard designed the chassis to accept a variety of V8 engines, accommodating the preferences and availability in different markets. For British customers, the J2 often came equipped with Ford or Mercury flathead V8 engines, powerful units that were readily accessible and reliable. However, in the United States, many J2s were fitted with locally sourced American V8s, including Cadillac, Mercury, and Ford engines. This flexibility was crucial in making the J2 particularly attractive to American racers and enthusiasts. They could install big, familiar engines without compromising the lightweight British chassis underneath. This combination created a balanced sports car that was competitive both on the road and the track. The engineering choices made in the J2 reflected a clear goal: to merge the best of British chassis design with the brute force of American V8 power, resulting in a car that was more than the sum of its parts. Its suspension and brake layout contributed to handling that could keep pace with more specialized racers, while the engine options allowed for impressive straight-line speed and acceleration. These factors combined to give the Allard J2 a unique position in post-war motorsport. It was a car that could be tailored to its owner's needs and the specific demands of racing, whether in Europe or America. Understanding these technical details sheds light on why the J2 enjoyed success and respect in the competitive sports car arena. Having understood its engineering, we turn to the J2's introduction and production history, revealing how it entered the competitive sports car market. As the 1950s began, the Allard J2 quickly established itself as a distinctive presence in the world of sports cars, gaining attention not only in Britain, but especially across the Atlantic in the United States. Introduced in 1949, the J2 was a product of Sydney Allard's vision to blend lightweight British chassis design with the muscle of American V8 engines. Over the course of its production run, which lasted until 1951, approximately 90 original J2s were built. This relatively small number belies the significant impact the car had on enthusiasts and racers alike. The J2 was primarily aimed at competition drivers and the burgeoning American market. Its appeal rested on a simple yet powerful formula: a nimble, well-engineered British roadster that could harness the raw power and reliability of American V8 engines. British market J2s typically featured Ford or Mercury flathead V8s, while many American customers opted to install locally sourced engines from Cadillac, Mercury, Ford, or other manufacturers. This flexibility was a key factor in the J2's popularity, as it allowed owners to tailor the car's performance to their preferences and local maintenance capabilities. Underneath its sleek body, the J2's engineering supported this adaptability. The chassis and suspension design were robust yet lightweight, accommodating a range of V8 power plants without sacrificing handling. This made the car especially competitive on American road courses and hill climbs, where power-to-weight ratio and agility were critical. The ability to combine British chassis dynamics with American muscle gave the J2 a unique edge in the post-war sports car scene. American racers and enthusiasts embraced the J2 for its potential and versatility. Its reputation grew not just from factory-supported efforts, but also through privateer entries, who found the J2 a compelling choice for competition. The car's success in various events helped cement its standing within the sports car racing culture of the era. It was more than just a niche British import. It became a symbol of Anglo-American collaboration in performance motoring. This positive reception in the United States was crucial in shaping Allard's next steps. The groundwork laid by the J2's production and market acceptance set the stage for the introduction of its successor, the J2X, which sought to build on the strengths and address the limitations of the original model. But the story of the J2's influence was already well established by the early 1950s, thanks to its unique blend of engineering and its appeal to a transatlantic audience hungry for performance and innovation. Having seen how production unfolded and how the car was received, we now turn to the J2's most notable competition history and racing achievements. The importance of the J2's competition record lies in what it demonstrated under demanding conditions. The car's British chassis and American V8 were not simply an unusual combination on paper. Together, they could produce a credible international competitor. For a small manufacturer, the third-place finish at Le Mans offered unusually visible confirmation of Sydney Allard's central idea. It also showed why the J2 appealed to entrants willing to combine a specialized chassis with locally familiar engines. Rather than proving that one formula was superior in every setting, the result established that this particular combination could perform at the highest level of endurance competition. With production established, we now explore the J2's most notable competition history and racing achievements. Few post-war sports cars made as significant an impact on international and American racing as the Allard J2. Its blend of a lightweight British chassis with powerful American V8 engines proved to be a competitive formula that resonated on both sides of the Atlantic. One of the most remarkable chapters in the J2's racing history came in 1950 at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Sydney Allard himself teamed up with American driver Tom Cole to pilot a Cadillac-powered Allard J2. Against a field stacked with well-established racing teams and factory-backed entries, the duo managed to secure an impressive third place overall. This result was no small feat, especially considering the endurance nature of the race and the fierce competition from marques with far greater resources. Their performance underscored the J2's durability and speed, demonstrating that this hybrid British-American sports car could stand toe-to-toe with the best in the world. The Cadillac V8's torque and reliability, combined with the J2's nimble chassis and advanced suspension setup, made it a formidable contender on the demanding Circuit de la Sarthe. Back in the United States, the Allard J2 continued to prove its prowess on American soil. In 1951, Bill Pollack drove a Cadillac-powered J2 to victory at the Pebble Beach road race, a prestigious event that attracted top drivers and manufacturers. This win further cemented the J2's reputation among American racers who valued its unique combination of British handling finesse and American muscle. The car's success at Pebble Beach highlighted its adaptability to different racing conditions and circuits, reinforcing its appeal in the competitive post-war sports car scene. These documented achievements were pivotal in establishing the Allard J2's racing legacy. They showcased how Sydney Allard's vision of marrying British engineering with American V8 power could yield real results on the track. The J2's success also helped foster a growing appreciation for Anglo-American hybrid sports cars during this era, influencing the tastes and ambitions of both racers and enthusiasts. Over time, the J2's proven track record in endurance and road racing contributed to its lasting influence within the motorsport community. Its impact extended beyond just race results, inspiring future developments and cross-Atlantic collaborations in sports car design. With production of the original J2 wrapping up by 1951, its racing heritage remained a defining chapter in its story, distinct from the later J2X model. The J2's presence in both European endurance racing and American road racing also reflected a broader post-war enthusiasm for international competition and technical experimentation. Its ability to attract skilled drivers from different backgrounds spoke to the car's reputation within the motorsport world. Notably, Zora Arkus Duntov, who would later become a key figure in American performance engineering, competed in an Allard J2, further illustrating the model's reach among ambitious racers of the era. To deepen the story, we examine the famous drivers connected to the J2 who later shaped American automotive history. Behind the wheel of the Allard J2, future American automotive legends began to shape the sports car identity of the United States. Carroll Shelby is one such figure whose early racing experience included driving Allard sports cars. While not specifically tied to the J2 in every instance, Shelby's involvement with Allard's Anglo-American formula gave him first-hand insight into combining lightweight British chassis with powerful American V8 engines. This practical knowledge proved invaluable as Shelby later created his own celebrated V8-powered sports cars, blending performance and innovation in a way that echoed the pioneering spirit of the Allard J2. Another key figure connected to the J2 is Zora Arkus Duntov, a driver and engineer who competed in an Allard J2 during his racing career. Arkus Duntov's time with the J2 exposed him to the dynamics of marrying British engineering finesse with American muscle. This experience played a role in shaping his later contributions to the Chevrolet Corvette, helping to transform it into an iconic American sports car renowned for its power and performance. The involvement of Shelby and Arkus Duntov with the Allard J2 highlights the car's significance beyond just its immediate racing record. It served as a bridge between British racing tradition and the emerging American sports car culture, influencing the direction of American automotive design and competition. Their stories illustrate how the J2 was more than a machine. It was a platform for innovation and cross-cultural collaboration that left a lasting imprint on the sports car landscape. By attracting drivers like Shelby and Arkus Duntov, the Allard J2 became a training ground for ideas and skills that would resonate throughout the American racing scene for decades. This connection underscores the broader impact of the J2, linking British craftsmanship with American ambition in a way few cars of the era managed to achieve. The J2's American appeal was closely tied to flexibility. Many examples arrived without a single standardized American powertrain, allowing locally installed Cadillac, Mercury, Ford, or other V8 engines to become part of each car's individual history. That arrangement suited an audience already familiar with those engines while preserving the character of a lightweight British competition roadster. It also means that surviving J2s cannot always be understood through one mechanical specification alone. Their identities reflect both Allard's original chassis concept and the choices made after the cars reached the United States. This mixture of common design and individual configuration helps explain why the J2 occupied such a distinctive position in the American market, neither conventionally British nor fully American. For racers and enthusiasts, that dual identity was central to its appeal. Building on these influences, we now explore the J2's unique position in the American market and its broader cultural impact. For American racers and fans, the Allard J2 was more than a car. It was a symbol of transatlantic collaboration and competitive spirit. Emerging in the post-war years, the J2 found a unique place in the American sports car scene by offering a blend few others could match. A lightweight British chassis designed specifically to accommodate the powerful V8 engines that American drivers prized. This combination unlocked a performance potential that resonated deeply with enthusiasts and racers eager for speed and agility on the track. The beauty of the J2 lay in its adaptability. While British market versions typically employed Ford or Mercury flathead V8s, many American owners installed locally sourced Cadillac, Mercury, or Ford engines. This not only simplified maintenance, but also meant that the car could harness the raw power and reliability of engines familiar to American mechanics and racers alike. The result was a nimble, potent sports car that could compete fiercely in a variety of racing environments. This approach aligned perfectly with the post-war American appetite for sports car racing, which was rapidly growing in popularity. As more Americans embraced the thrill of road racing, the J2's presence became increasingly prominent. Its victories and competitive showings at events such as the Pebble Beach road race, where Bill Pollack drove a Cadillac-powered J2 to victory, helped cement its reputation. These successes showcased the effectiveness of combining British engineering finesse with American muscle, a formula that appealed to a niche of racers looking for innovation without sacrificing power. Beyond the track, the Allard J2 embodied a cultural connection between Britain and America during a period when automotive collaboration was still relatively rare. It offered American drivers a chance to experience British sports car design tailored to American tastes and capabilities. This Anglo-American hybrid not only delivered performance, but also symbolized a broader post-war spirit of cooperation and shared passion for motorsport. The car's lightweight chassis and sophisticated suspension setup, featuring independent front suspension and a dead-on rear arrangement, allowed it to handle the increased power of American V8s with remarkable composure. This technical harmony contributed to its appeal among American racers who valued both speed and handling. The J2's success in the United States also paved the way for its successor, the J2X, which would continue to build on this foundation. Understanding the J2's market success leads us to consider its development and the transition to the J2X, a new chapter that aimed to refine and expand upon the strengths that made the original J2 so compelling. The J2's appeal was also shaped by the sense of individuality it offered to American owners, who could tailor their cars with engine choices that suited their preferences and local expertise. This flexibility fostered a sense of personal connection and pride among enthusiasts, reinforcing the J2's reputation as a car that reflected both its British origins and American ambitions. Understanding its market success leads us to consider the J2's development and the transition to its successor, the J2X. The story of the Allard J2 did not conclude with its final production in 1951. Instead, it evolved into a new phase with the introduction of the J2X in the early 1950s, an updated model that sought to refine and build upon the J2's groundbreaking foundation. While the J2 had already established a reputation for its lightweight British chassis paired with potent American V8 engines, the J2X aimed to enhance this formula with design and mechanical improvements that addressed handling and performance challenges faced on the racetrack. The J2X featured a number of notable changes, including a reworked front suspension layout. Unlike the original J2's split-axle independent front suspension, the J2X adopted a more conventional double wishbone setup, which offered improved stability and responsiveness. This change was a direct response to feedback from drivers and engineers who sought better control at higher speeds and on demanding circuits. Additionally, the J2X's bodywork was subtly revised to improve aerodynamics and driver comfort, reflecting the ongoing evolution of racing car design during that period. It is crucial to distinguish the original J2 from the J2X, as well as from the many replicas and continuation cars that would appear decades later. The J2, produced in limited numbers, approximately 90 examples, between 1949 and 1951, remains the authentic representation of Sydney Allard's initial vision. The J2X, while closely related, represents a distinct chapter that responded to the shifting demands of motorsport and the marketplace. Replicas and continuation models, often built many years after the original production run, can sometimes blur this historical line, but they do not share the direct lineage or the same engineering pedigree as the original J2. This transition from J2 to J2X reflects the natural progression of Allard's sports car program. As racing technology advanced and competition intensified, improvements were necessary to maintain relevance and competitiveness. The J2X was a testament to this adaptive spirit, refining what had made the J2 special while addressing its limitations. Yet, the original J2's legacy as a pioneer of the British-American hybrid sports car remains firmly intact. Understanding these distinctions helps preserve the authentic history of the Allard J2 and allows us to appreciate its unique place in automotive heritage. It stands as a symbol of post-war ingenuity, bridging two continents through engineering and racing passion. The J2's chapter may have closed by the early 1950s, but it laid the groundwork for future developments and left an indelible mark on the world of sports cars. The J2 can be understood as an early, clearly documented example of an idea that later became more familiar, combining a lightweight British sports car chassis with American V8 power. That comparison should be made carefully. The existence of similar later cars does not prove that the J2 directly caused their development, and the careers of people connected with Allard require the same caution. Carroll Shelby raced Allard sports cars before becoming associated with later Anglo-American performance cars, but that broad connection does not establish that he specifically raced a J2 or that this model directly shaped his later work. Zora Arkus Duntov did compete in a J2 before becoming an important figure in Corvette development, yet chronology alone should not be presented as proof of direct influence. What the historical record does support is the J2's place within a wider transatlantic exchange of engineering ideas. Its combination of British chassis design, adaptable American engines, and meaningful competition results gives it importance without requiring exaggerated claims. With the model's history clear, we now assess the Allard J2's legacy, rarity, and influence on automotive culture. The Allard J2's story is not just about a car, but about a lasting influence that resonates with collectors and enthusiasts decades later. With roughly 90 original examples made between 1949 and 1951, the J2 remains a relatively rare find today. This scarcity, combined with its unique blend of British chassis engineering and American V8 power, has made it a prized possession among collectors who value both its historical significance and its distinct character. The J2's design, lightweight, nimble, and robust, reflected a purposeful marriage of two automotive traditions, a formula that few cars managed to capture so effectively in the post-war era. Its documented racing pedigree, including notable finishes like Sydney Allard and Tom Cole's third place at the 1950 24 Hours of Le Mans, adds a layer of prestige that deepens its appeal. Beyond the track, the J2 influenced the way British sports cars could be paired with powerful American engines to achieve competitive performance, a concept that echoed through the automotive world in the years that followed. Figures like Carroll Shelby, who raced Allard sports cars before creating his own Anglo-American V8 machines, carried forward this hybrid spirit, blending engineering talents across continents. Similarly, Zora Arkus Duntov's involvement with the J2 and his later impact on the Chevrolet Corvette highlight the J2's subtle but meaningful role in shaping American sports car development. Preservation of the Allard J2 today focuses heavily on maintaining originality, with collectors and historians working to distinguish authentic cars from the later J2X models, as well as from replicas and continuation cars that have appeared over time. This careful attention ensures that the legacy of the original J2 remains intact, honoring Sydney Allard's vision of a lightweight competition roadster powered by robust American V8s. The J2's story illustrates more than just engineering ingenuity. It captures the enduring appeal of cross-cultural collaboration in the automotive world, a partnership that helped define sports car history in the mid-20th century. For collectors and historians, the process of authenticating an original Allard J2 is a careful endeavor, given the existence of later J2X models, replicas, and continuation cars. The distinction is more than a matter of nomenclature. It reflects a commitment to preserving the unique identity and historical context of the J2 as it was conceived and built between 1949 and 1951. Enthusiasts often study chassis numbers, period documentation, and specific construction details to ensure that a car's provenance is accurately traced. This attention to authenticity not only safeguards the value of surviving examples, but also helps maintain the integrity of the J2's story within the broader tapestry of post-war sports car development. The J2's reputation as a notable example of the Anglo-American formula continues to attract those who appreciate the intersection of engineering innovation and motorsport ambition. As we conclude, let's reflect on the Allard J2's place in automotive history and what it means for today's enthusiasts. The Allard J2's journey reveals how innovation and collaboration across continents created a sports car that still captivates today. Introduced in 1949, the J2 was more than just a lightweight British roadster. It was a bold experiment in blending British chassis expertise with the raw power of American V8 engines. This combination made it uniquely competitive and appealing, especially in the American market, where its performance and versatility stood out. With approximately 90 original cars produced, the J2 achieved impressive racing success, including a remarkable third-place finish at the 1950 24 Hours of Le Mans and a victory at the 1951 Pebble Beach road race. These accomplishments underscored the car's capability and helped cement its reputation in motorsport history. The J2 also connected with influential figures like Sydney Allard, whose vision shaped the car's identity, and racers such as Carroll Shelby and Zora Arkus Duntov, who would later leave their marks on American automotive culture. While the J2 was eventually succeeded by the J2X, it remains distinct and significant on its own. More than just a car, the Allard J2 represents a bridge between two automotive worlds, embodying a post-war spirit of ingenuity and cooperation. Its legacy continues to inspire collectors and enthusiasts who appreciate the blend of British craftsmanship and American muscle. What do you find most fascinating about this unique chapter in sports car history? Share your thoughts below, and if you'd like to explore more stories that celebrate automotive heritage, please subscribe to our channel.